Alright, so in this adventure of connecting the dots with the Woz, I'm going to talk about an idea. It's a little controversial, and it's that your investments might not be worth anything until you sell them. And to understand that idea, you want to realize that investments can be almost anything. Some people think of having money in a bank account as an investment, but often people invest in things like stocks, bonds, on in the different financial markets. People invest in real estate. People buy houses, vacation properties. Some people even buy exotic cars, and in the hopes that it will appreciate in value. Even things like alcohol, like wine or whiskey and stuff. Collectibles like baseball or hockey cards, coins, things of that nature. And all of these things have the potential to have, to be an investment because they could be, earning value over time. And so one thing you want to think about is really, how do you really qualify what an investment is? I think that, if you buy something for fun, you're buying it for a purpose. If you're buying something with the sole purpose of trying to make money, well, then that's maybe more of an investment. But ultimately, things that you do buy for fun could be an investment. Or if when you own a home, you're buying it for a purpose, that you have to live somewhere. But sometimes it can be an investment because you might be able to make some money on it. But here's the kicker. Those things, until you actually sell them and get money for them, are just some things. You have a house, it's a great place to live. It might be beautiful, it might be run down, who knows? But it's only really brings you true monetary value when you actually sell it. Now, some banks might be willing to take a risk or a bet on it that, hey, we'll give you a loan if you basically say that you'll give us your house if you don't pay your loan. Like when you get a line of credit or something that's linked to your house. So some people or some institutions might value the thing similarly to how you do, but not everyone does. And even when you go to sell your house, you can get a whole range of offers of prices for it, and ultimately, until you're satisfied with the price to take, it's not sold yet, so there's no actual money in hand. There's an old saying that a bird in the hand is worth two in the tree, and that's the idea that it's like a hunting analogy, where if you're going bird hunting, there's two birds sitting in the tree, that's fine, there's two birds there, but if you actually capture one, then you actually have a bird to take home if you're going to cook it for dinner or whatever. And two birds in the tree that you aren't able to capture and fly away, you end up with nothing. So if you can't sell the thing that you have as an investment, whether it be a property or a stock or collectibles, then they're not worth anything because you can't sell them. Sometimes you can sell them, but not at the price that you want, so then it's not valued the same as what you thought it was. And again, this is why you gotta be careful not to bet on that thing as an investment until you really capture the gains from it. I even know some people that have bought in, let's say, some stocks, and there's been some good growth, and then they start spending money on the growth of that stock that they own, but they never sold the stock, so they don't actually have that money yet. Interestingly enough, I bought some of that stock. It was only a couple $1,000s, but not too long after I bought it, it went up, and then suddenly it tanked, and that couple $1,000s literally became worth like $40. So $40 from 2000, same number of shares that I owned, and that means those people that maybe put like 100 grand or something into it, they didn't have nearly what they thought they had. And if they spent money without actually having the money yet, just maybe borrowing it or just using up other savings, thinking, oh yeah, when I sell my stocks it'll be worth tons, well, they ended up in a bit of a pickle. So all I'm saying is that it's good to invest in things when you're responsible with it, and when you do make money on something, try to capture those gains and actually lock it down, because then that way you actually have what you gain, because just because it goes up doesn't mean it can't go down. Happens with everything. Happens with money, like different currencies. It happens with real estate. There are cycles always. How much it goes up and how much it goes down. It's different every time and different every location, but it happens. With stocks, they go up, they go down. There's typically overall trends of the whole market that it's kind of been growing over time. But just because that one stock that you bought isn't growing doesn't mean the whole market isn't, right? So you could have a bad bet that goes down and becomes worthless. So all I'm sharing with this idea is simply the fact that don't bet on something until you actually have it in hand. So, you could make a great investment, you could make a great choice with whatever it is. It doesn't matter what the investment really is. But don't bet on the fact that it's worth something until you actually have the money. Now, if you're living somewhere you're not planning to move and you're trusting a certain value in the marketplace and your bank is willing to give you a line of credit and you can use that to make smart investments, whether it be to upgrade the house that that will bring value, well then you can do things like that. That's not going to be a very worrisome, I wouldn't think. But to go spend money before you have it, like on luxury, something fun, trips in a car or something, when you don't actually have the money yet, I'd be a bit more careful with that. Just some ideas. But yeah, it's just a bit of a different way of thinking, because a lot of people lately here in Canada, here in Ontario, there's like a bit of a housing boom in Toronto. A lot of houses are worth more than what people paid for them, even if they only bought them like a year or two ago. And some people are borrowing off that equity. And there's no guarantee that that price is going to stay the way it's going forever. And if they overspend and don't pay back their loans, they could end up with quite the little sizable debt over their heads. So just sharing this idea of being mindful of just your investments before you count all these eggs that you think are in your basket. All right, hope you enjoyed this one.